Hey guys, I'm Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. My company is relocating people to Belarus, and today we are going through a biased, not really weekly, but regular digest of the local headlines, local and global events, something that happened around here concerning locals that may or may not help you to shape your plans into traveling or relocating here in Belarus. Let's see what happened and let's see how that may help you. Traditionally, many thanks to the channel supporters, guys on Patreon, and individual donors. Not so many lately, but the links are down below if you have $5 or $10 that you can spare to keep the channel going, to improve the picture and the sound. Let's not waste your time anymore. Let's get started. A major point of focus today is the little de-escalation at the Polish border. Polish are reopening their border tonight or tomorrow night, 25th. So things are going to function again, and traffic that mounted up to leave through Lithuanian and Latvian borders will probably ease, and Poland will get its share of travelers through the border once again. So that makes things easy for people on the ground, especially for the Westerners who are traveling from Belarus back to Europe. Remember that lately we don't have the opposite proven. Mexicans, Canadians, Australians, generally meaning non-EU people, are not allowed to enter Poland by the Poles from Belarus, although their papers are valid and everything. So the return to Europe, if you have flown in here or driven in here, will be easier through Lithuania or Latvia. As always, the buses are traveling between Vilnius and Minsk, and some others that are online. Their numbers have been cut, and let's say long-term prospect isn't super bright, but generally they are there. They are a bit on the expensive side now. The transit time is not something they actually plan and confirm. They just say it may stretch a little bit, so don't plan your flight too close to your bus arrival. It may not work out. And just like before, Westerners are freely traveling in here, freely meaning the geographical constraints of the moment, but generally quite all right. Their visas, their passports, everything works finely. Some questions may be in order at the border, just like everywhere. And the phones may be checked and social networks, so make sure that when you're traveling here, your agenda, let's say, matches the local one, if you are traveling. Let's jump to the local news reports. Some guy brought a fake $100 bill into one of the Gamil exchangers, and exchanging money here is an everyday thing. Currency exchange points are at every step, at every corner, more or less, because it's habitual for the Belarusians to save money in dollars or euro. It doesn't matter which currency you bring. The rate is more or less the same across the country. The general point here is don't deal with individuals, only use official exchangers, online or offline, crypto too, because there's a lot of fraud going with crypto going on. And the second thing, perhaps even more important than the first one, is make sure your bills you are bringing are not damaged, torn, it's just the same, don't have any stamps, don't have any marks, like print quality, press quality, bank mint quality, and carry cash to back up your cards and other digital assets, because at some point you may ask, oh, where do I get cash? And you will not look very smart. In Minsk, the traffic cops are testing cameras to check if the drivers are illegally using phones. Lots of drivers are known to be doing that. It's not really legal, and it's a subject to a fine. It's a misdemeanor. So you may want to be careful with that if you're a local, if you're a foreigner driving here in Belarus, and just, keep that in mind and use the hands-free device or use the phone when you stop the vehicle. That may help. Kind of national news with international touch to it. Some 20 guys in Poland from here were operating illegal imports of luxury cars into, I guess, Belarus and Russia. And the main point is they were dodging sanctions. The Western countries kind of sanctioned the luxury stuff to go to Belarus, so it was kind of going to further eastern countries. Paperwork got changed on the way, and this did not make some Polish lawmakers happy. So people got busted, money got intercepted, and the cars, some 40 million zloty worth of cars, not sure how much that is in euro, but seems like a lot of money, were confiscated. Big point here is about the cars. As a foreigner, you cannot bring a car in unless you have permanent residency or citizenship. which will not make you a foreigner anymore, I guess. Secondly, you may buy a car locally, but with some examples already here on the desk, so to speak. I would recommend very highly to check the car back and forth and to be very, very careful buying one over here. The choice isn't super rich and overwhelming, and it may look overpriced. And a small injection about the cars. Some lady, 56 years old, she's from here. She was driving her Porsche at the speed of 190 kilometers per hour, and that's her 57th violation, misdemeanor. Unlike the foreigners, locals here do not get it too bad after the 5th misdemeanor. So some people just get it too bad. So she got a lecture, lost her license for half a year. And this is a kind reminder that, guys, you have to drive very carefully. You have to install that Yandex app to see the speed limits and speed traps. And you have 5 misdemeanors in a year before your TRP is gone. Keep that in mind. Piece of news with international touch. Drones are quite popular these days, and the story about some 24 drones flying into Poland, getting knocked down, except they were not, is quite a bit of a story. Speaking of the military drones, it's kind of melodramatic and at the same time comic how several dozen pretty much non-combatant drones were flown into Poland for whatever, out of whatever use, purpose, mistake or something, and they were intercepted, except they mostly burnt off their fuel and dropped by the cutting-edge Air Force aircraft of the NATO, and one of them was hit down by a .4 million rocket, the device itself costing, say, $4,000. So that's something giving an idea of how capable NATO is and giving us a general idea that the war between Russia and NATO is not really coming. I don't believe in it. Let's mark this moment, and then if I'm wrong, I'll bite you a pint, guys. Speaking of civilian drones, it's illegal for Belarusian natural persons to have drones. Drones must be in the possession of companies. They must be certified and doing all the flights like all the big aircraft does, with a flight plan, with all the pre-approvals and permits and everything. LLC SIS, my company, has such a drone. And the next release about this neighborhood, the Minsk World, is coming soon, so I hope you'll be enjoying that. As for your own tourist thing or everyday thing, you had to lose that drone, let's say, months ago to make it legal. Or if you're just traveling here, do not bring one in because it's illegal. As we're tracking US dollar rate climbing and not climbing over here, real estate market lives its own life. People seem to be quite excited about the long-term prospects of the market, so they are buying. In spite of the US dollar rate exceeding 3 rubles against it, once again, the deals are climbing. The per square meter price is climbing. The peak is peaking again. There's no steady trend or anything. And in August they had about 1,500 deals in Minsk, different residential properties. 25% of those were apartments over $100,000. We are now assisting a client through a 4-room apartment sale. It's roughly $200,000. And this 25% figure gives us some hope, except his, let's say, little option is not in the most trendy block, let's say. So it will take us some effort to get things done. 1-room apartments on average were $1,900 a meter. 2-room apartments roughly $1,700 a meter. Everything, of course, breaks into area, market sector, timeline and everything. So it's a bit hard to find a good bargain because now the sellers are choosing and the buyers are rushing up. I've just had a rather challenging experience with a foreign and very pretentious buyer who was kind of building his own rules and laws to the sellers. And we didn't buy anything. We had several trips to Mogilov and we just failed because he was a bit too slow understanding things which were explained to him very, very clearly, and that's about it. So he's now shopping somewhere else in Gomel on his own, and maybe we'll film a little story about this experience. So the general point here is, if you were willing to sell, selling now is the best time to go, and the rents are also climbing up and reaching ridiculous heights in Minsk. A real positive thing up here in Minsk, they're fixing a huge bridge on Independence Avenue by the Independence Square, and it's soon gonna be complete. It's a really massive job connecting this neighborhood and the city center. So let's see if that's gonna end soon and if the job is gonna be 100% great. That's gonna ease traffic quite a deal. Generally, I would add that the quality of the roads and bridges here in Belarus is kind of okay, if not to say better than okay, and many foreigners, many Western drivers who I come across just share their experience about things being a little bit better than at home. By the way, if you guys have had such an experience, some countryside ride, please share in the comments whether or not you like the road infrastructure, if something could be improved the way you see it. That would be great to read. Some guy gets caught during a routine traffic driving check, and his Russian license is not really a valid Russian driving license. It's not that some foreigners here are, let's say, insane enough to use a fake license. It's just about making sure that you guys have your papers in order and follow the exact requirements to your specific case. To have this paper or more papers in one package in the car, have your insurance valid, and drive around without misdemeanors. Again, that's adding up to our car topic above. The schooling year has started already. The first week of September is normally with mandatory daylights on. The rest of the year it's just after sunrise, after sunset, and before the sunrise. So all these tricky local things you may want to research before you start driving, or even before you think of getting a car, because 5 misdemeanors in a year are very easy to burn off very fast. Another little positive update: the pensions are going up by some 5 or 10% in this September. On average, they make about $300 a month, depending on what sector of economy one was employed in. It may be a little more than that, or considerably more, but not in all cases, of course. The pensions are increased twice a year, once by 5%, once by 10%. Somehow it's coordinated with inflation, and over 2 million pensioners in Belarus, over 2 million people in Belarus are pensioners. That's somewhat above 20 or even 25% of the total population of the country, which is quite a lot, but such is the world trend. Let's wrap up this clip with some positive news. From 2nd to 19th of October, there will be some Culinary cuisine festival in Minsk, and there's a bunch of restaurants who are taking part in that festival. So I guess there's some kind of a program and some dishes which are going to be reasonably priced. Let's hope that way. And if you are in town at that moment, there may be some weather improving, because now it's kind of sunny, but it's rather chilly over here. And you'll be able to enjoy the country, its culture, its people, and a good bite. If you're in town for a coffee or for some more serious plan, let me know. If you need a technical consultancy, it's a paid service, of course. If you would like to meet for that, or again, just a casual meeting for an introduction for a coffee, I'll be happy to see you when I can. Thank you very much for watching the video, and hope to see you in Minsk at some point. Cheers!